Ever wondered why the person you're trying to help never seems to learn? No matter how much you try to make them understand or how much time you spend, they never just seem to get it. The answer is simple. Some lessons you just have to feel. Think about it. How many times has something bad happened to you? And then you realize that someone in your life, or maybe someone online, has been trying to help you stop that from happening all along. Think carefully, I'm sure you'll find examples. You see, it's not about intelligence or the ability to take advice, it's more of a difference in perspective. You probably know the analogy of the three blind men and an elephant. No? Okay, I'll tell you. So, three blind men were taken close to different parts of an elephant. They were then asked to describe what it was in front of them. One felt the trunks and screamed. He said it was a mighty snake in front of him. The other blind guy felt the tusks and said it was a mighty spear. The last guy touched the body of the elephant and concluded it was a wall in front of him. All their descriptions were right, so imagine their shock when someone tells them it was an elephant. A mighty beast with a large serpent as its nose, huge spears on its face, and a body the size of many, many men. The thing is, no matter how much you explain, they will never truly understand it, unless they see it for themselves, or in this case, feel every part of it. This huge difference in perspectives opens the door to other things that are problematic. Most people have an ego, and having an ego is a good thing, but not many people know when to leave their ego out the door. Most people will rebel when presented with facts contrary to their intuition. Their beliefs are so deeply rooted that they will take failure at a massive scale to help them see the picture, and even then, it might not be enough. I know we've all met someone like this. We all have that one friend that swears he knows what he's doing. You watch him fail again and again, but his ego won't just let him admit he was wrong. It's painful to watch, but at this stage it's better to just let them come to you, as trying to help them would only make them try to prove the potency of their methods to you. A lot of times people like this could end up becoming bitter, and they will just hate you for knowing better. Listen, if you're one of those with a massive ego like myself, I would advise you keep your beliefs, but do an A/B test with the advice you've gotten. Compare the results and let that speak for itself. As Friedrich Nietzsche said, a thinker sees his actions as experiments and questions, as attempts to find out something. Success and failure are for him answers above all. Trust. For a lot of people, this word alone would open a can of worms. Most people have been let down at some point in their life. Some have even been scammed by people that portray themselves as helpers and guides. It's no wonder they take every piece of advice with a bag of salt. Emphasis on bag, as I believe it's okay to take everything with a grain of salt until you see results at least. Another thing is, some people just believe everything is a big scam. It's all a scam. These people might find you interesting. They might even pretend to agree and implement whatever advice you give it. But in reality, they discount your experiences and are only there to prove you wrong. To them, it's a thrill. It's like a grand mockery of whatever it is you stand for. I've spoken to someone like this, and believe me, they're the worst. It's insulting. It's infuriating. Although I believe some people have been let down so many times that it's hard for them to trust. And I think people like this actually come along quickly when they see results and feel like you have their genuine interest at heart. My issues with people that have a deep lack within themselves, so they try to make themselves feel better by discounting the experiences of others. It's how they cope with themselves. I'll just leave this here. I'll leave this here. If you're one of those that have been let down by people in your life, I understand your apprehension, but don't shut your heart to the world. There are people that genuinely want to help. And if you're one of those that take pleasure in downplaying the experiences and knowledge of others, always looking for something that will discredit someone, take a look at yourself. Ask yourself these questions. What does it do for you? And why does that satisfy you? Adam's razor is a saying that reads, "Never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity." Like most things, some people would just be too stupid to get it. This is not an insult. Me, myself, I have been stupid about certain things, and it's okay. A person's naivety can obstruct them from seeing things exactly the way they are, no matter how much you want them. But because of your warnings, they will quickly see the errors in their ways when they get a few setbacks. I remember when I was younger, I didn't know how to relate properly with women. I had a lot of female friends, but I didn't know how to act properly around women I was intimate with. During this time, I consumed a lot of content from a guy called Coach Corey Wayne. The guy was great. He said a lot of things that are merely instincts to me now. But at that time, it might as well be rocket science. I would listen to him, but still make mistakes. And then realize, he was right. I shouldn't have done that. It was only through my experiences with women and the dating world in general that I could truly absorb and understand the lessons in the words he spoke. In essence, nothing can be truly learned through words alone. People generally have to fail or experience little setbacks to see the wisdom of words. But the good thing is, because of your failures, the lesson stays with you forever. Talking about this got me thinking, how would you handle all this as a mentor? Or maybe a big brother, big sister, a friend? How would you handle this? There's a popular saying, if you say something enough times, it becomes true. And although this phenomenon is very useful for spreading propaganda, you could also use it in a good way. If you keep hammering on certain ideas and principles, it doesn't matter who you're talking to, it gets registered in their subconscious. And in their moment of pain, your words will come to them. And so far as there's wisdom in it, they would act on it. Nothing reinforces reality like pain. That's why drug abusers are one of the hardest people to save. They don't feel any pain, they're in bliss. So when would your words reach them? All it takes is a bottle or a needle, and nothing else would matter in their world. You see a lot of homeless people on the streets in America. You would think their situation will wake them up to reality, but no. All it does is it pushes them further into the corrosive embrace of these drugs. You've noticed that I keep hammering on the importance of failure, and it's for a good reason. There are people that can follow instructions blindly, and by blindly I mean doing something without understanding why you're doing it. People like that might not fail, but they will always need your tutelage. That's why failing is important. I can't stress this enough. Failing is so important, it's the only way. And it doesn't have to be personal. Some people can learn from the failure of others. I know, it's tempting to become frustrated. You sometimes get the urge to just leave them to their devices. This is where you need to step back and relax. Because at the end, it's always more rewarding to be of help. Try to be supportive and helpful whenever they run back to you. Remind them of their errors without mocking or belittling them. Unless it's your brother, then if he dies, he dies. Of course, there are people you shouldn't waste your time with. Some folks don't deserve even a second of your attention or time. But for those that do, reward the good steps they have taken. Admonish their bad behavior, almost like a father would.
I don't lie with words that leave my lips. I'm telling you, don't kiss the slips. I've seen the work it does and I show you it's exquisite. If you're stressing, I advise you bring your flowers down and smell it.